Hi, folks. I want to show you a site um, which has a lot of good theology books to recommend you um, about Reformed Academic Press. Exists in order to help fill a gap in Reformed theological literature in our days. In recent years, confessional Reformed Baptist churches have multiplied by the blessing of God throughout the world. These churches are to the Second London Confession of Faith in 1677 to 1689. Along with these churches come pastors and future pastors in need of theological literature upholding the theology of the confession. So there's a, a theological review. There are reviews such as this one.
Welcome to the Reformed Media Review. My name is Camden Busey. I'm pastor of Hope Orthodox Presbyterian Church in Grays Lake. I'm here this morning with Jim Cassidy, who's pastor of Calvary Orthodox Presbyterian Church in Ringgoes, New Jersey. Welcome to the program, Jim. What book do we have in front of us today?
Oh, good to be here, Camden. We have Better Than the Beginning, Creation in Biblical Perspective by Richard Barcellos. And it's a small book here published by Reformed Baptist Academic Press. This is the book we got before us.
Great. Yeah, it was published this year. Looks interesting. Tell us a little bit about it. Who's it written for, and what is it seeking to do?
Yeah, sure. I'll talk about the audience and such at the end.
Okay.
I'll jump in here in good eschatological fashion, good Reformed biblical theological fashion by beginning with the conclusion, chapter 12, Better Than the Beginning. And it's a good summary chapter. So if you pick up the volume and you want to take a look to see what it's all about, go right to the end. He summarizes the contents of the entire book nicely in this smaller chapter, and does a pretty good job of it. He brings up just a couple of quotes coming out of the chapter, talking about Adam as the representative of all of humanity. He says he could attain to God's rest in the garden, provided that he obeyed, extending the culture of the Garden of Eden to the four corners of the earth. And then he goes on and he says, we have seen that the end of the Bible is the beginning of the Bible brought to its intended goal. And I think that those two sentences right there really resonate with people like us who are into the Reformed biblical theology. What he's saying here, in essence, is what Voss says in his the eschatology of the soul at the end of his book on Pauline eschatology, where he says that eschatology precedes soteriology, which any of our listeners that have listening for any amount of time have heard mentioned on numerous occasions.
Yeah, that's a core to our distinctive approach to Reformed theology here on Reformed Forum.
That's right. Yeah. The idea that from the very beginning, even before the fall, there is in view the eschatological final and eternal consummation of the relationship between God and his people, which was the intended goal of the covenant of works given even before the fall. So
you might not agree with Reformed theology, but it's still a helpful resource. There's a reading list here, which I'll bring you to. So there's quite a lot of reading list of books that you can think. There's links. Phil Johnson's homepage is a good place. Westminster Bookstore is a good place. Alpha and Omega Ministries, good place. Calvary Press, Founders Ministries, Grace and Truth Books, Grace Books International, Grace Online Library. Specials. John MacArthur's book there. A debate on pedo-baptism, etc. You might not agree with these things. Covenant theology. Some of you might not agree with covenant theology, but there's books here that you can get hold of to study the opposing view. But I'm from a Reformed Baptist background myself, and so this is kind of like I'm like a fish in water when I come to these kind of sites. Okay, I'll leave you with this. I'm going to link to some more sites. If you want to go to this site, it's www.rbap.net. www.rbap.net. Okay, thank you for listening, and God bless you.